Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse. Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly into your neural pathways. That's an awful decision. Why would you not want to shield yourself from it? It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse than all the previous ones.
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter. The pale? It's the end of the world. I built it myself.
And she's proud of it too, as she ought to be. This is way beyond your abilities.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah, way beyond. Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through. No, once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream. Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it. If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
对应贴心1 8 9 8
You're looking for a deal with my mattress.
Free and Ember.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
The gun she's carrying is a 2-barreled front loader, not like a murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but she can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but...
All good, officer. Be careful.
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it.
You should know the words to say. You've been here yourself. So why is it not coming to you? Because you've misread the situation from the beginning. And now her finger squeezes the trigger. A smirk crosses her face as she watches you stand there, mute. Then she exhales sharply, shakes her head, and pulls the trigger. You watch as her brains trickle out through her neon hair.
We clean up. It may take days for processing to pick up her body. We need to move it somewhere. That tent there.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never... It's like a...
I know you can't say it's a pleasure.
As she says the word, nobody. That's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse than all the previous ones.
I'm using a pale signals
So,
precise at the upper limit is the pale. It's the I built it myself.
And she...
that's a leak!
Oh yeah. Way no. Yeah, I stuck my head in there. Yeah, let's not talk about if you've got God damn it, fine.
The gun she's carrying, well, it doesn't feel much better, but she can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much.
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first. Nah, she didn't crack. She's a survivor. If she told you anything, it was to save herself. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me? took some convincing my ass. And those guys liked me, I know it. If this is what happens to people whom people like, how the fuck do the rest of you get by? Like what? I already told you I didn't do it. I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types. Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do. Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pines sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here. I'm listening. Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon you. Like fuck I did. I was in all the time. I went for a leak, 10-15 minutes max. Wow, now I'm curious. Please, explain. No, not since I was 14 and hanging out in the only diner in Dardun. Haven't been into low-risk, no-reward games since moving to the city. Why? Don't know it, but also...
Evaluating your competence as a police officer.
The shot couldn't have come from the roof, or we would have all heard it downstairs.
She has a point there. No one mentioned.
Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Claudia's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. She's got this great antenna. It's very powerful. I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. That's how I knew to be prepared for your arrival. The view's pretty bomb, too. But you might say the antenna was the main attraction there, yeah. Along with Claudia. Yes, I'm sure. And anyway, as I said before, the shot had to have come from afar. And? The gun store. Trigger Happy Jacks. What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sorry, I'm not that kind of gal. Sure don't.
The breech loader?
No.
This is such a wipeout.
A Nachtway 80 front loader. 2-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing.
That isn't it.
No, they're not practical. Break too often.
A doubt creeps over you. She sounds so sure of everything. So, not guilty.
Yeah, evidence. Yeah? Where? I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while. So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised. I was, before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor. I'm fine now. How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio.
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Claus's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
Claudia didn't want to turn the lamp on. She was afraid of another shot. She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sincerity.
It's okay. We just want to...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Klasia comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her. Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before.
This woman has seen people OD. Claudia wasn't quite there yet, so why worry?
No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
She looks shaken. She wasn't surprised to be ratted out, but framed.
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy Boys. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed. As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs. No gunshot, nothing.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going... fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me.
Her grip on the gun is tight, her arms toned, her posture solid. Martinez lost a valiant defender.
I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn La Puta Madre agent.
So this is what she was scared to tell Titus. This cop. That strange, distant fear is getting close now. It's a fear of yourself.
Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener.
Through the sudden sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant mumble something to himself. Fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Everyone in Jamrock, the cops, the criminals, why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for you? Right, sure, you don't know. Yeah, sure. I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all to you soon enough.
A man in a white suit walks through a garden coaxed from soil that had once been covered in asphalt. A city block closed off from the rest of the city by dark buildings. Rows and rows of poppies, most of which have lost their pink bloom, flank his steps. The man looks around, then up at the sky, sighs. Taking out a knife, he crouches at the end of one flower bed. He scores a seapod, very gently. Milky sap begins to ooze out. The pain comes over you again.
You know what I did. I fucked him over. And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fucking Titus. What bunker? Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp. But I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond to... Glad to have been of assistance. Best of luck to you, officers. Revishal's a bitch.
The woman runs past you and disappears into the darkness of the tunnel.
All things considered, it could have gone worse. No, I don't think she did it. She's someone else's case now. Now we have to come up with a really good excuse for why we walked right into a trap like that. This isn't going to look good in the report. Her tent. Maybe there's something in there.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. The tent looks old but well maintained. In the darkness of the tent, a rolled up sleeping bag, cooking utensils, some books, and a kerosene lamp. It reeks of cigarettes. Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's not a magazine, it's a leather notebook. You pocket the worn brown leather journal.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket. It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller. The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled. The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently. Perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out. with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins. It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
It's good she left in a hurry. We could learn a lot from this.
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this.
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape. Short wry observations of people and places, probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them. Staff issues, always tough on the leadership. You smell traces of betrayal. The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable. Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely. You have no idea what she means. These are personal notes. Don't expect to understand all of it. That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell.
What about this M? Could this be La Puta Madre? Here, March 9th and March 15th.
Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? The call? Did M call her personally? Why? Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me, did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic. The entry ends abruptly. The most recent entry is from today. It reads, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
It looks like she might have been framed. I wouldn't go so far as to say that. We have other reasons to arrest her. Besides, I'm not sure her life as a fugitive is going to be much better than with us, especially if she has problems with the Madre. No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure. The head of a major Jamrock gang specializing in drug production and trafficking. A very bad person. Could have been Titus. Then again... Maybe there's a Hardy boy we've yet to meet who acted as his accomplice. Either way, we need to keep an eye on him. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it.
Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary? This does look like an embrasure, a slit made for shooting out of. The lights of Martinez shine coolly in the clear night.
It's a great place to hide, and Mazovianism and murder are certainly not mutually exclusive. But there hasn't been anyone here in ages. Indeed, no one could get a clear view. Well, at least we've been thorough. I like thorough.
The lieutenant's voice betrays a slight disappointment, which he glosses over by reasserting control.
In fact, I think we're done with this bunker. After you, officer.
Yes, what is it?
Our Canada policeman.
Stop. Just up ahead. Danger. What you have isn't enough. You'll need more firepower. A ranged weapon. Your Kvalzun KR2 multi-tool looks impressive, shining in the cold spring light. But what can it do against military-grade weaponry?
Then you'd better get ready. Whatever happens, I've got your back.
I'm all out of shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the fucking reckoning.
Put your damn gun down. People are gonna get hurt. We need to talk this through. All right?
Shut up! You're not gonna talk yourself out of this, loincloth shit fuck.
This is the scab leader. His chest rises and falls under the ceramic breastplate. His fingers reach for the butt of his sidearm. There's something very wrong with him.
This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened yet. You can just return to your unit and forget all about this.
The Kypt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander. I think we should just kill everyone, Corti.
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street. This isn't a frontier town or a jungle outpost.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful agreement. Ain't that right, fellas?
He is facing overwhelmingly superior firepower, and he knows it.
Peaceful.
Nest in your abdominal cavity like a little wild mouse. The masked man's words are barely intelligible, but you can hear them.
Fuck. There are 3 of them. I was hoping there would be less.
This third one, he is the most dangerous of them all, heavily armed.
My plan is not to get killed, but we have to intervene. If this turns into a firefight, we should take him out first.
Get lost, comedian. You cops had your chance. Now it's fucking time for some justice.
Pig fuck!
You. You're probably gonna get killed too. I think I'm gonna kill you. I didn't think I had it in me to kill a cop.
To your left, you hear the lieutenant cock his gun.
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and talk like civilized human beings.
With a wordless gurgle, the killer loads his long rifle. The leader gives a small nod to the helmeted man. You feel your fists contract as you stand there between these men, all carrying real weapons. You really, really should have a gun in your hand by now. Or something dangerous. This feels scary. I'm barely keeping you together here. The more you talk, the harder it will get, I'm afraid.
Yes. So what?
Yeah? So what? You should be drunk too. It's insane how long it's been since your last drink. Get one in you right now.
Nah. I'm clear as day. Fucking government-ordained super soldier.
Enough already! What is this? We didn't come here to fucking chat!
Interrupt me again and I will execute you on the spot, Lance Corporal. Yeah? Who did then? How fucking convenient.
His fingers are twitching. That's a draw reflex. He's about to draw.
One of us? You saying we? What if I just shot one of your pals here, right now? Huh? How about the killed? Go ahead. Tell me we fucking killed our own colonel one more time.
Listen, please. This cop and this drumhead court-martial won't decide who...
He's gonna do it. He's gonna shoot her. Your mind grinds to a halt. All you can see is the revolver in the man's armored hand, swaying, pointed at her. You move your mouth like a fish gasping for air. He pulls the trigger. A plume of smoke erupts from the muzzle. The shot rings in your ears, a low, tinny ring. Then the Hardy Boys yell something.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Fuck this!
There's a coarse shuffle against something. Is it a gun?
Gene! Cancel Lizzie! Now!
He'll be ripped apart. They all will. The moment the third man opens fire, and he knows it.
Who the fuck is that?
Glacia, the woman upstairs, where is she?
She left!
Unarmed, hunched, but keeping it together.
She left! Her room's cleaned out! Right before these assholes showed up!
We should have arrested her.
Hey, Bushman! Your little cunt isn't gonna help you out of this one! You think I care what that company cunt thinks? She's gone, you stupid fuck! Sailed off 5 minutes ago. She doesn't give a shit about you, Silos. You're alone.
Stay cool! How is she?
I'll be okay. I'll be...
She'll be gone soon, too. Company bitch is gone. Laylee's cunt is gone. Laylee's gone. Fuck are we still doing in this shithole?
Guys, I just get in the way. I don't even have a gun!
Hold your ground. Any more of you run, I'll shoot you myself. We're doing this together.
They're afraid. All of them. trembling reeds in the wind. They'll run, scatter soon, one by one. International something. International law. Don't say it. But now you stood there scratching your ass for 1.5 seconds. You think this helps things? Of course, nothing bad will happen. Talk about his dead friend. He seems stable enough to take it. Even better, it will further destabilize him, costing time and maybe even lives.
Don't fucking talk to me about my brother, Loincloth.
Okay, yes. Immediate failure. Things are worse now. He's observing your every motion carefully.
What's that, Loincloth? I can't hear you. Sounds like you got your mouth full of dick. Rude. Rude. Kill him.
The porcelain man raises his rifle and takes aim at you. His hands are steady, and the long barrel of the rifle sways slowly. The shot rings and you stumble. Something violently tugs at your shoulder, pushing you backwards with incredible force. A volcano of burning pain erupts from your left shoulder. The pain flows over your entire body like an awful shock. A grim knowing rises from within. Half of your body must be gone.
God, please.
Then, 2 shots ring and you hear a scream. But you're too hurt to see who got hit. Glenn, dying in a puddle of blood behind you. His mangled torso has 2 gunshot wounds. Blood gushes out of them like red geysers. You see 2 cold eyes looking at you through all the smoke and panic, and a pistol raised, aiming at your chest, point blank. Then the man squeezes the trigger. A look of happiness. His eyes seem unnaturally bright, shining like stars. Something in the fear must distort him somehow. He is evil, and the end. Here it comes. Death. You can't. There is no time. Something inside your pelvis explodes. Your entire lower body is on fire and your legs can't support you. You fall down like a rag doll. The Hardy Boys are yelling. Someone is running, jumping over you. In the background you hear gunfire shatter glass, and then a man in pain. A familiar sound. It's Titus with a splat like meat. You hear bullets rip into him. His voice, still giving orders, grows fainter. A gurgle. Warm blood pools underneath you. It's sticky, and there's so much of it. Don't go into shock. Hold on. Most of what's down there. You can also feel the bone where the bullet went in. Something very sharp, like broken teeth under your fingers. Nothing. A persisting darkness. Dancing lights of pain. Distant shadows cast by them, like a hellish play.
You're bleeding out. Yes, keep talking. Stay awake. Look at me.
But you can't. It's so hard. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the sounds ever more distant. And a cold comes over you. The lieutenant, too, is somewhere far away, almost gone, when suddenly you sense something behind him. A shadow towering. Someone stands there, raising his pistol at him. The lieutenant does not see it. He's pushing down on your wound with both hands.
Scream immediately. He's gonna die.
No, you scream. Behind you, from your bloody lips, your eyes are full of fear. There is no room for hesitation. The lieutenant turns around and fires, his body falling on yours in the course of the motion. You hear a roar of pain, a death scream. The sound disappears like someone pressed stop on the tape. The hulking figure, too, is gone. And so is Kim, and the whole world.
This is death. One more door, baby. One more door. Brother, you already were a ghost. Up there, screaming along with all of them. Scaring each other, haunting each other. It's the living who are ghosts. The dead are silent. They don't rattle windows or write letters in blood. The living do. Leave them behind. Rest.
The fight? There is no fight. The fight is over. It was lost 1,000 years ago. You have laid here forever. Keep falling deeper. Take the door. He's not taking it. His body is not taking it. Oh God, no! He's not disintegrating. He's swelling up instead. Over the hours, hurting, moaning in his sleep, and rotting, and being disinfected, and smelling of drugs, and feeling saliva in his mouth, drifting in painkillers, thrashing in his wound sleep.
He can't go. Not before the case is solved. There is a radio in the distance. A radio of the world. Playing sounds. Good morning, Elysium. Soon you will return to the world.
Hours turn to days. Soon we will get up again and go through it again. Finally we know what the infernal engine was outside. The clarion call. It was him. He is the infernal engine. He never stops. He only gets worse.
You see the lieutenant's familiar shape in the orange jacket. It turns double, then triple, from the pain. It's nothing. You're alive. That's what matters.
Sunrise, Parabellum. Mr. Gart cleaned it. It took him an entire day. 2 days, in and out. You've been up enough to take Dramamine and curse. And drink water. It's not ouch time yet. You just got the Dramamine pill an hour ago. Wait until it wears off. Sunrise Parabellum. Sunrise, prepare for war. It's an old revolutionary saying. The gates of the harbor are boarded up. The streets are a little more empty. Apocalyptic violence is yet to erupt, I am relieved to say. I think we may have held it off, for now. Barely. Pity? Cool. What happened? We tried to take the diplomatic route and hoped they wouldn't attack first. They did. The Major gave the command. As retaliation, the rifleman shot you. He hit. With his carabine. I was looking for a clear line of sight. When I found it...
He sounds a tiny bit sorry he did not find it before you got hit.
I shot and wounded him, while Glenn took a bullet in the spine. It was meant for me. He did not survive. Titus, Fat Angus, and Theo charged. Angus and Theo died before they made it to intensive care. Titus died in the hospital. Yesterday. Alain and the young musician, I forget his name, they are all that's left. Yes. You were bleeding out by then. You warned me. I was able to disarm Cortana before he got the jump on me. I was not able to kill him, as I should have. Crenel took him. A stray bullet killed the Pole, though. And that's what happened. Yes. This is the one. He's in a private hospital across the river. Crenel claimed him from the local butcher shop where Titus died. Turns out he's insured.
There is unveiled anger in his voice.
We won't get to him anymore. The good news is he's not coming here either. I did some damage. 5. Glenn, Theo, Angus. The fat one. He took a lot of bullets. And Titus. And Elizabeth too. Elizabeth Beaufort was her name. The gardener. No, she bled out before Everard's surgeon could help her. Everard sent his personal doctor, but a costly loss for the Union. She was being trained for leadership. She never had a chance. She should not have been there in the first place. There was no way to convince them.
Stop this line of thought now. You're too broken for ghosts.
All. Yes, officer. 6 people are dead. It's not a success. But what's done is done. The violence is cordoned off. The mercenary tribunal is neutralized. The worst scenario has not materialized yet. And we are still alive. Both of us.
His smoking, his hunched back. You have it worse, but he took a real beating. That cigarette has medicinal purposes.
Yes. The joke wasn't funny anymore. I took it off. Pretty bad, officer. You've suffered 2 wounds. The first is below your shoulder. The bullet passed through your shoulder blade, luckily missing your lung and heart. The second shot hit you in the thigh, the left quadriceps. No major arteries were nicked, but the bullet had to be removed. Bacterial infection was treated with mercurochrome. We will see. Not very. I have a concussion from the Major beating me with the butt of his gun. I tried to not move too much. Things would be worse if you didn't warn me. Thank you. I did not see him coming. Stupid of me. No. I called your station after the fight. The injury was logged in. They told me they've sent officers to join you on the site. I'm sure they're worried about you. I did. No need. Easy now.
You can take it. Just don't lean on that leg of yours too heavily.
How are you? Your disco days should have been done quite a while back, Lieutenant Gefreiter. I honestly don't know. We can't talk to Everard. The harbor is in lockdown. Everyone in there is outside our grasp now. Joyce has left too. We never got to know what she would have told us. I'm sure it was important. Yes, Joyce Messier. On the boat, you know? She could have helped us. It's clear the mercenaries were working for Wild Pines. At least partially. It's a little late to elicit her support now. Ruby's gone, and Class here too. We really should have arrested her, you know? I don't know. I think the theory you presented, it's someone else outside our circle of suspects, was right. It better be. Everyone within the circle is either dead or gone. Honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect. It's extremely easy. There are thousands lying around. We found one, all completely unusable. It's precisely how easy it is to find one that makes the bullet useless. We should go upstairs, rethink the ballistics in situ. I agree with this. What else? We could find thousands more if we wanted. All of Revachol is full of them. Yes, God curse the footprints, not solving the case for us. Au diable. Don't be narcissistic. Half the cops in Revachol West are his peonies. Even if you are, it is not a decisive factor in this case. What? Every piece of garbage in the city is not connected to the case. You don't have to catch everything. I don't know. That's been there for years.
He arches his brow. The ceiling fan patiently spins overhead.
It can feel that way sometimes, yes.
That concussion must be making him dizzy.
No. Are you ready to limp? Good. Where do you want to limp to?
A gust of wind blows in from the bay. The duraluminum box around you vibrates imperceptibly. A familiar cold, a red thread on the roof upstairs. Taut, plucked like a string by the gust.
Why not? Another look at the window, perhaps? The one he was shot through. I don't know. I can't think of anything better.
These papers bear the stamp of the RCM. They appear to be fragments of the lieutenant's paperwork, half finished. You make out notes on this and other recent cases.
I had Garth open the door to your room. You were running a low bacterial fever the first night. Behind darkness, I get it. Let's go.
Next to the stack of bills, you see a note, a few lines jotted down in large, uneven handwriting, just as the writer was about to rush out the door. I'm sorry, I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him. P.P.S. Gift upstairs.
A gift? I am not drawing my gun, yet, but I don't like gifts.
He says he's not, but his hand moves instinctively toward his holster as he studies the note. Just don't walk into another radio trap, okay?
It's hardly surprising.
The medicine cabinet is empty. Not even a toothbrush. Pity.
I always took you for more of a drunk than a chemical abuser, Lieutenant Hilfreiter. Should we go? Mm-hmm. She certainly had her priorities straight when she was packing.
You see the same two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman, only now a red thread bisects the room, pointing from the antenna outside to the cupboard on the wall.
This is ballistics. She's left a trajectory for us.
A ray of backward motion explodes from his mouth to the roof outside, A prime, to then widen into a radius of locations in Martinez. B prime, B double prime, and B triple prime. It suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles, from a point beyond the roof, B triple prime, the island in the bay.
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna, that is where the thread seems to point. She was there that night. She would have known precisely where the bullet hole was in the glass. It also looks like there may be more to her skill set than we know. The question is, should we trust her? I don't know. At this point...
What difference does it make?
So it is.
For a second he seems tired. He sees danger. Another trap, perhaps. He must be cautious for a reason. This man has decades of experience.
No, I just don't want to walk into another embarrassment. I am a creature of pride, you see. I'm afraid of becoming a joke.
It's not something he's proud of, but that's the way it is.
Of course. I mean... How do we get there? Joyce Messier had a sloop, but she's gone. Ah, yes, of course. The village. Let's go.
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you. You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment and its clientele from gunfire. Defended may be putting it a bit generously, though. I had a great view of you doing nothing to stop those psychopaths. Then I crawled inside. Bullets started flying. Anyway. I wish you a quick recovery. Also, you and your partner are staying here free now. This establishment supports cops. The stay is free, the drinks are not. It just felt I needed to specify that. Oh, you know, people don't tend to stick around after shootouts. Turns out they're not good for business. I don't remember everyone who comes here, and many people wear sunglasses inside lately. Must be a fad. Yeah, I was, yeah. That's because I'm a badass.
He nods back at you, even more stoically. Just two badass men nodding stoically. Make that three. The lieutenant is nodding too, hands crossed.
No problem. They'll come back. They always do.
Seeing you approach, the bruised man clenches his fists.
Oh, it's you. Didn't think we'd see you walking anytime soon. Elaine, look. It's the cowardly cop.
Huh? What?
He's very, very drunk.
Our condolences for your losses.
Damn songbird of misery, that one.
And do you have any information on this songbird of misery?
God said she took off sometime before the firefight. That's all. Trying to remember if there was anything. Oh yeah, he said she seemed to be in a real hurry. Does he look like he's okay?
He does not. His unshaven face is almost gray, and he reeks of piss, sweat, and booze. While still alive, he has abandoned his own body to decomposition.
No shit, Marlon. Yeah, you too. It's a rough world out there. It's not easy being a cop. We were too hard on you. Both of you. We shouldn't have fucked with you like we did. You got between us and a lot of bullets in that fight. Matinees owes you one.
That's kind of you to say. Take care of your friend, okay?
I will. You take care of yours.
A sharp pain shoots up your side and into your stomach. You must not look too good. Luckily, it passes. You think you have a pretty hot suspect right now, don't you? That ruby of yours? Notice how it came together without casting too much suspicion on Clarcia. It was nice and ruby-centric in the end. Anything strike you a bit off about this mishmash? Notice how this hasn't come up at all. Even Hardy and his boys didn't mention it. Neither did you. No, they didn't. True. Strange how you conducted the whole advanced ballistics analysis and then hand-waved it. Good point. It is rather rare these days, but do continue. Absolutely. It could have come from anywhere, but you're suddenly so certain it came from the roof behind the window. That's right. Finish thought. Just finish it and conveniently go on. She's watching you leave right now, you know that. Free as a bird on that roof, lighting up a cigarette and thinking, am I glad Ruby's in this shit and not me? The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. This was Cindy the Skull. The lieutenant crouches, touching the fuel oil with his finger.
Looks like it, yes. This is still fresh. It wasn't here yesterday. And blood. Some of it is even yours.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable? The fuel oil catches fire immediately with an ominous hiss. A bright orange flash across the surface of the letters. Black smoke rises from the burning message. The lieutenant has taken a small step back. He looks at your face illuminated by the flames and nods silently. Then the fire falters.
Let's go to that island.
Slowly, the flames subside, the fuel burning out. The air still smells of mazout and springtime.
Officer, care to play a game with the lonely old man? Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same. The prick is gone. I can barely believe it, but he's really gone.
He is trying to retain his jolly facade, but the underlying sadness casts a deep shadow over his wrinkled face.
Yes. In peace. Officer.
Officer, what happened? You're wounded. Why are you wounded? You look terrible.
She sounds almost disappointed with you, reprimanding you for falling and hurting your knee.
Look at you, you can barely walk. Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
That's nothing to brag about, officer.
It's not serious. He'll be okay.
So you're a killer? That's good, I guess. Better than being dead. Hi. I guess you are. I understand that's how it goes. Of course. Can I help you with something? That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead.
Hasn't been there herself. Who has then?
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like a bad place to drink to me. People died there during the landing, you know. My mother told me. The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do, on rafts. I tell them not to, but they bring back old bullet casings and such. The twins. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge.
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place before we go? Would that be alright?
Be my guest. They have a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom do. Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater. That means concrete underwater. Cut your boat if you're not careful. Be sure to enter from the south side. Water's deep there.
Aye, aye, Captain.
If you promise to bring it back, and no scraping the hull, I just got it nice and yellow, and no drinking on the boat, and no joyriding either.
Of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or two. Official police business.
Aye.
The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes as she smiles at you.
Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? Just filled her up, but it's a small tank.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him do it.
And that iron. That's, nothing. It's just a seafort and some plants. You can take a raft there. It's great. And we make a fire. We make a fire. Mm-hmm. Gather the sticks for the fire. And bullets. Or not real bullets, empty bullets. They're nice. The fire guy comes and asks us to put the fire out.
Your nerve endings sting from the mention of a guy.
No. Yes.
Let's go with yes.
Because he asks to put the fire out. I don't know. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like people to be there. You shouldn't go. Yes.
A suspicious request. made out of fear?
I don't know.
Did you mean there are electrical lights?
Yes. No, he doesn't live there. I don't think. No, he lives there. Been there twice, 2 times. He doesn't live there. He isn't there sometimes.
Anything else? What does this guy look like?
I don't know. We ran. He just yelled we shouldn't be there. Our father killed himself. Don't say that, he didn't. I'm sorry. There's
Lights, fire guy. We should check up on that island.
Jamais vu. Derealization. Jamais vu. The opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is a fundamental question. A skiff with a small steering engine in the back floats on the calm mirror of the sea. Its 2 seats are empty. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle, and you're off into the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you. Are you sure you want to go now? Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts? Remember what the netpicker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
What? Fine, why not?
Very cool. Now tune it to SAD FM. You know you want to.
Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Eternally. going
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off. Then there's silence. In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance. There is very little wind here today. The ghost is standing still. You look at your arms, then the cliffs above you. Let's go. The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast.
Ah, yes, so it seems. For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also lock the bay when you raise the chain. From enemies of the commune of Revachol. This sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe.